Different levels, I cannot relate. You never win if you playing it safe. It's all a game until you get played.
Welcome back to It's Culture Podcast. My name is Mark, and I had to come live tonight because there's a lot going on around the country, and that's why I kind of entitled this one March Madness, because people are losing their mind. We got a viral video that we're going to talk about tonight out of California. Very, 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 very sad. And hopefully something happens in this case. We got the video from Virginia, the track star who allegedly assaulted another opponent with a baton during a relay race. Well, she has been criminally charged. And then we have Omega Psi Phi fraternity down at Southern University. I'm going to speak about that as being a member of the Divine Nine, and then we got Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. Like, I don't know what's going on with them, but we're going to talk about that as well. But if you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get all the updates. And as I say on all my shows, thank you all for tuning in and rocking with your boy. I see I got some people in there. What's up? Okay. You that's your little cousin? Okay, we're gonna talk about that tonight. Which cousin? Is it the one out in California or the one in Virginia? Just let me know. And then we got my home girl. Hey. How you doing? How you doing there? How you doing, super producer? Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. All right, so let's get into it. So here we are, another viral video. This one is out of California. This one was uploaded on X platform today. This is absolutely egregious, and I want y'all to watch this video. And we're going to talk about this because I think something needs to happen, and it needs to happen now. So.
Oh, no. Why she talking out on baby? Why was this fucking crashing out on me? A hydro flash is crazy work, man. Oh no, baby. Bro, tell him guy, chill the fuck out, damn, nigga. Oh, yo, damn, nigga, knock him out. He's knocked out, bro. She's knocked out, bro. She's trying to hit that nigga.
Okay, so y'all saw that video. Absolutely egregious, absolutely horrific. This happened in Colton, California. This was at Cali Middle School. These are middle schoolers. Now you see that tall gentleman. I guess he is either Latino or he's either Asian. I can't really tell. But you see it's a young black girl, and he is slinging her around like a rag doll. And then, she's trying to defend herself, trying to hit him back. And all of a sudden he takes her and slams her head dead smack into the table and completely knocks her out cold. I don't know where the teacher's at when all this is going on. This is just, nobody was called. This is, now the community is outraged. There is a protest going on right now out in California in Colton. It's being sponsored by the National Action Network and a few other local civil rights organizations there. And they're demanding that something be done. Now, people have been calling the school all day. It got shared with me by some of my activist friends out in California. And they have been calling the school trying to get information as to what was going on with this actual case. Now, as of me doing this video live, I haven't got any reports that anything has happened to this kid, the male in this. I don't know the young lady's name. I don't know anything. I just got sent this video and I just saw it. And first of all, he is way bigger than her. And he is an absolute he's an absolute, like he's physically way bigger than her. And even if that, no little boy should be putting his hands on no little girl anyway. And for him to be just slinging her around, you heard the N-word getting thrown around all throughout the classroom, and she in there just trying her best to try to get him off of her, and he is yoking her up, throwing her around like a rag doll. If he is not suspended or expelled from school with this, I mean, this right here, I mean, if you look at this, we're gonna rewind this back. Let's look at how imposing he is on her. I mean, he's way bigger than her. He's way bigger than her. It's crazy. Look at her. I mean,
high school class is crazy work, man.
And then he just pushes it down, and then she slings it back.
Oh no,
and she's trying to push.
Bro, Cali guy, chill the fuck out, damn, nigga.
Chill out. N-word, damn, and then slams her to the head, to the ground, to the table. Absolutely needs to be charged with assault. Her parents should not let this go. The community should not let this go. I don't even care what happened. I don't care who started it. I don't care nothing. You do not do that to a young black girl. You don't do that at all. You don't sling her around, throwing her around like a rag doll. So he needs to be expelled from the school immediately. He is way too big to be in there bullying a young girl like that. So if y'all out in California, I see my girl. Hey there. I see one of my friends from Cali. If you know anything about that, just let me know. Keep me informed. I want to stay in the loop with this one because I know my Cali activists. I know how y'all get down, and y'all are not going to let this stand none whatsoever. So, and as that case and incident makes its way around social media, I'm pretty sure every national news outlet is going to be picking it up soon. We'll get some answers to what's going on out there at Cali Middle School in Colton, California. So moving on, because I'm not gonna hold y'all too long tonight. So this video out of Virginia, it has made its way around, and I saw the video, and I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I ran track and field in high school and in college, did the relays. I understand, especially when you're doing 4x2s and 4x4s and people are trying to come around and pass you, that sometimes you trip up, you get off balance. I understand all that. But today, something in this case happened, and I want to share that right now, and then I'll discuss it on the other side. So
at the Virginia High School League Championships, Kayleen Tucker was passing Alayla Everett when Everett appeared to suddenly swing her baton, hitting Tucker in the back of the head, sending her to the ground. Everett says it happened because she lost her balance.
So I'm like this in the air. I catch my balance, pump my arms. She's cutting in, so when I pump my arms, she got hit.
I just felt a bang on my head, and then I fell off the track immediately.
Tucker suffered a concussion, and the judges disqualified Everett, who says intense public scrutiny quickly followed.
Death threats, racist people, people making fake accounts to talk and harass me on my page.
Tucker's mother saying Everett did not apologize. The family blames safety concerns at the track.
She wanted my daughter to run over there in front of all these people that may jump on her because they feel like she attacked the other runner.
The Everetts have since apologized. The assault and battery charge would be a misdemeanor. No court date has been set.
Okay, so the video, you see the baton, different angles. I don't know. It doesn't seem like it was malicious from my point of view, and I know that may not be the most poignant or the correct position to take, but it may have been incidental. It could have been intentional. I don't know, because none of us were on that track. And I've seen some of the comments on some of those videos. And I really, it seemed like they were both moving at the same time and the arms were coming around, and like an off balance swing. I mean, when you run it and you especially in those sprints, you can get elbowed, you can get stepped on, you can get tripped up, you can get your spikes. Anything can happen when you come, especially coming around a curve. That's one of the most dangerous spots on the track to actually take a position and try to pass somebody. Usually you want to pass on the straightaways. You normally don't want to take a pass on a curve, because as you're turning, and if you're leaning like you're supposed to be leaning in a curve, then you can actually lose balance and swing. I used to run third leg on relays, especially the 4x1, and on the 4x2 I ran anchor. And I can tell you, trying to cut in and get the baton, even on those legs, you can really get hurt. And we've seen people fall down, trip up doing these relays. It happens at the pro level. So I don't know if this young woman was actually trying to assault somebody on the track. I just don't get that. I mean, what would be the reason for her to swing on one person when realistically they're all fighting to trying to get to the front? And social medias. And I know that particularly because social media did it to me a couple of weeks ago. So I know what people probably did. You harassing a 17-year-old girl? Like, when did that even become the norm? When did that become the norm for people to harass kids? Like, she's in high school. She getting death threats? If this is going to be assault and battery and it's a misdemeanor, and she will, you know what I'm saying, she'll end up, let the courts in Virginia decide this. I think that this could be settled outside of the court. I didn't think that this needed to be raised up to assault and battery on a track. That's like, why would we want to push for a child to be getting a criminal record? This is in Virginia, and I used to live in Virginia, so I know how the Commonwealth get down. They have no problems with the stacking charges up on very, very minuscule things that happen. And for somebody to be trying to push for this young woman to get charged with a misdemeanor and get a record, destroy her life. She seems like she's a pretty good track athlete. She may be up for scholarships. We're gonna destroy her life just because of this. I don't think that is fair. I don't think it's fair at all. And if her parents are actually pushing for these charges, shame on y'all. Shame on y'all. If anything, you settle it outside the court. If the other family has to pay the medical bill for your daughter's concussion or something, maybe they can do something and go hang out, or try to become friends or something. Anything besides pressing charges, trying to jam a teenager up on something. And she's already been suspended. Like that. That has already happened. And I just don't understand it. I just don't get it that we would be trying to get a little young girl jammed up like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm gonna be paying attention to this case, because I don't think it should have went that far. I know that may not be the position that some people want to take. I know probably gonna piss some people off. They're like, "Oh, she assaulted her," but it does not look. It doesn't look intentional to me. It doesn't look malicious. It seemed like they just got caught up, and it's one of those things that happen in a relay. Somebody gets too close, and the arms are flying, and unfortunately, she got struck in the back of the head. But it don't seem like that young lady was trying to intentionally hurt her. So that's enough on that topic, because that gets me kind of hot, because I don't like to see people try to get young kids jammed up, especially harassing young Black girls. Like death threats from adults. And we know these are the adults that are doing that, making trolling accounts and all that stuff. That stuff ain't cool. We do and it's probably somebody Black doing that stuff. And occasionally we're gonna get some of the others to do it too. Like, don't be doing that. That's not cool. So I wanted to wait before I started talking about the situation at Southern University, because I wanted to make sure that all the facts came out before I even took a position, and before I even decided to review what was happening, because I know social media on social media, and this situation with Caleb Wilson and Omega Psi Phi fraternity down there at Southern is as a member of the D9, as a member of Kappa Alpha Psi, and this is one of the most things that you definitely don't want to hear about. Somebody getting hazed to death, like that is never something that you want to hear about when it comes to an initiate wanting to join one of our beloved organizations. But in this situation, this has happened, and it has made its rounds all around the internet, on every national news outlet over the last couple of weeks, and it has brought a bad eye to every single member of the Divine Nine organizations. It has brought a bad look. And in the era of social media, where things go viral real quick, we can't have things like this happening. Not in these organizations, because every time that there is a hazing incident, the fraternity is going to have to pay out to the family. And every single time these things happen, that means as members, we are covering the expenses of some other members' actions. And I don't like my money that I pour into my fraternity being spent on paying out lawsuits that can be avoided. So let's go down to Baton Rouge and hear what they're saying on the news down there. Let me get, I thought I had the video pulled up. Oh my goodness. Here we go.
3 suspects arrested in the alleged hazing death of Caleb Wilson. Police say each of the suspects punched Omega Psi Phi pledges that night nearly 2 weeks ago, but the warrants suggest only Caleb McRae delivered the fatal blow.
Arrest warrants reveal the role each played. Here is Maddie Kurth now with what investigators are saying the other 2 men did, as they now face a felony.
John, this is exclusive video here of 28-year-old Isaiah Smith turning himself into Baton Rouge police this morning. Investigators say he held the title Dean of Pledges within the fraternity and that he punched at least one person that night. His bond was set at $25,000. He and 25-year-old Kyle Thurman now face criminal hazing charges, which were upgraded to a felony in Louisiana 7 years ago. They each face up to 5 years in prison if convicted. Now, police say Wilson and 8 other pledges were in a warehouse leased to Smith's father. Thurman is accused of punching one half of the. An arrest warrant says McCray delivered 4 blows to Wilson's chest before he collapsed to the ground unconscious. It sees that additional manslaughter charge now punishable by up to 40 years in prison. Investigators say the pledges were then ushered into another room while frat leadership tended to Wilson, changing his clothes before loading him up into Smith's car and dropping him off at a hospital and leaving before the police arrived. A preliminary autopsy found a small bruise on the right side of Wilson's chest. The coroner says his body was released to a funeral home last week, but that official cause and manner of his death is still pending.
I don't expect this to go to trial, but it could. But I think they're going to be trying to look for mercy rather than to be defiant in this case. Well, that would be my advice if I was representing them.
Now the standard procedures play out with arraignments and motion hearings. McCray is due back in court in May, and Smith is to return in June. Their lawyers spoke outside of the courthouse.
Isaiah is terribly remorseful about this. This is nothing that anybody wanted. And I think we're still in a state of shock about what's going on.
My client is grieving right now. He's grieving the loss of a friend. He's grieving the potential loss of his life. I mean, this is a traumatic event.
We're still waiting on a bond amount and the next court date for Thurman. In the meantime, Wilson's family will host a public memorial Friday at the F.G. Clark Activity Center in Baton Rouge. That's from noon to 5, with a celebration of life service to follow.
The rest of the fraternity, they got to sit up there and pick up the pieces. They got to pay out millions of dollars to this family because this is a wrongful death. And these guys weren't even students on campus. This is, it just pisses me off. This whole situation pissed me off. And I've seen people try to defend this. I've seen folks saying, well, how do we know everything like that? This guy was bruised, punched in the chest 4 times. And I'm pretty sure it wasn't just no soft taps to the chest. I'm pretty sure, dude, they say he had on boxing gloves. So he was probably sitting back, just swinging hard as he could, just trying to cave the dude's chest in. For what though? Like, what does that even teach? What does that even teach? That you could possibly kill somebody? And now you want mercy. You're grieving. This is bad. Well, what about this man's family? I'm pretty sure they didn't send him down there to die on campus. Seemed like a good young man, a good GPA, was in the band. Seemed like he was doing what he was supposed to be doing. And he just wanted to be a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity and lost his life because of it. Just as it should be a constant reminder that the way of old was wrong then. Hazing has always been wrong. There are plenty of ways for people to show you that they are serious, that they're going to show loyalty, that they're going to be good brothers. There's plenty of ways that you can do things to see if they are worthy, if that is what you're trying to do, without putting your hands on somebody. Anytime you put your hands on somebody else unwarranted, that's assault. And to the kids that are in school, that are in college, and you trying to become a member of one of these organizations, don't put yourself in this situation. It is not worth it. You see what just happened. That could be you next. Your family could be the next one sitting up there looking for answers, and the community is mourning you. So don't participate in that stuff. It don't make you a better brother. When you go to the alumni world, nobody's going to care. All right? Because eventually you're not going to be an undergrad. You're going to have to be an alumni eventually. So just don't participate in that stuff. And if somebody trying to get you to go off campus, off site to some random location, and you show up somewhere and there's a bunch of people there, then you already know what's about to go down. It's probably gonna be more people being charged with this. These are the first three. These are the three that we know about. I'm pretty sure the rest of them, it's gonna be a lot more. Because I don't think that it was just, I mean, if it's 7 people online, then I'm pretty sure it was probably about 20, 30 people in there, if that. Change the boy clothes. That's what y'all thought about him, and y'all want remorse. The judge shouldn't have none. Zero. And I'm glad that they upping the charges, because they should be upped. And you can't get it for murder though. So that's gonna be out the window. But manslaughter, we can do manslaughter, because your actions caused the death of somebody else. So moving on. My last topic tonight. LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith have been going at it. And I think that LeBron is tired of it. And I don't know if y'all saw the video, but LeBron actually ran up on Stephen A. at one of his games and basically told him to keep his son's name out of his mouth. And Stephen A., the video went viral, and Stephen A. addressed it on ESPN on his First Take show. But then he went on his podcast and kind of doubled down and kind of explained it more. And I want y'all to hear what Stephen A. had to say, because it's kind of interesting that he's putting this on LeBron. So I want y'all, we're going to talk about it after you hear Stephen A. And then, y'all can just let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. So let's go.
As a father, if it were a Kenyon Martin and his son, I wouldn't have said that. If it were a Carmelo Anthony and his son, I would not have said that. If it was a Glenn Big Dog Robinson and his son, I would not have said that. If it was Rick Barry and one of his sons, I would not have said that. I would not have said that about any of those folks, because none of those folks had made headlines promoting their child to be in the NBA as a player or a star in the league. I'm saying, as a father, you said, I want to play with my son in the NBA. You said, I don't care if you want me draft Bronny. At this point, it's not about the money. I don't care where it is. I'll play there. I just want to have a year with my son. It was you that said, despite high school, despite the heart ailment, he's better than some of the players in the league. So when I was saying, as a dad, don't do it, I wasn't just talking about Bronny, the player. I was talking about the dad saying the things that he was saying that was only adding pressure to the son. A week before he confronted me, remember he said, watching somebody be the face of the league, well, all these dudes do is go on the air in the mornings and shit on players. He was talking about me. Why? Because I got you number 2 all time. I think LeBron James is the greatest player in the history of man outside of Michael Jordan. I don't have him as number 1. Great father, great husband, great actor, great businessman, great family man, great philanthropist, great producer. What haven't I said? 4-time champion, 4-time league MVP. All-time leading scorer in NBA history right now. Surefire first ballot Hall of Famer. What have I not said? Come on, man. But they've been talking. These players, some of them, not most, not all, but a few. You know what they've been trying to do, right? In my opinion, what they've been trying to do is accuse me of selling out.
Wow. They said Stephen A. Smith is sold out. That's what he is. That's what he thinks the players are accusing him of. Now, this situation with LeBron and Stephen A. goes back to Bronny getting drafted, and LeBron, as Stephen A. alluded, was going around saying that he wanted to play with his son. That he had been saying that since Bronny was in high school, so everybody knew that. And perhaps, maybe that was the reason why the Lakers drafted him with the 55 pick in the second round, because Bronny actually, was on the Lakers, played a few games. He's been called up a few times from the G League, back up and down. But the production at USC made it kind of question whether he should have came out or not. And to a lot of people, it made it seem like he really wasn't ready, because when he actually played, he kind of seemed like he wasn't ready. And Stephen A. was on First Take alluding to that. And LeBron, being his father, I think he took offense to it. And instead of him letting it go, he went to Stephen A. to defend his son. And most dads would. But you got to remember, your son is in the NBA now, so his game gonna get critiqued. You can't be daddy and a teammate. You're going to have to pick and choose. You can't be both at the same time on the court, because you don't want him calling you daddy when you're on the court. You want him calling you Bron 2-3. So you're going to have to let these analysts do their job. And if they're critiquing your son's game because he's not ready for the league and they think he should have stayed in college another year or two, or he should, remain with the G League, then that's what it is. That's what it is. Is he going to be a good player in the league? We don't know. Is he ready for the league right now? No. And if he was called up to the Lakers, he wouldn't get no playing time right now. So what are you mad for? And to confront him and tell Stephen A. to stop talking about your son, but you haven't said anything about what Skip Bayless has done. And Skip Bayless, basically, for the vast majority of the time that he was actually on Undisputed, he spent most of his time, that's all he talked about was LeBron. Every single day, it was LeBron James. It was something dealing with LeBron. He was all on his social media. It was almost like he was obsessed with the man. And you never said anything to him. So why would you confront Stephen A.? Stephen A. alluded to it. A lot of people think he's sold out. They're looking at the way that he talks politically. Him being friends with Bill O'Reilly and the Sean Hannitys. Him talking with Tucker Carlson. Him having different views about the politics is rubbing people the wrong way. He's taking some controversial stances in his opinions. And some people think that he sold out. Just got a new deal with ESPN. Reportedly upwards over 100 million. So they think that he may have, sold out a little bit to think he can up his game, up his change in his pocket. I don't think so. Stephen A. been doing the same thing he's always done. I just think that, when now that you got a child involved that's actually a basketball player, people, they want the off limits to still be on the kids, because it's basically an unwritten rule that kids are off limits. And I think he still wants that carte blanche service for his son, but he also got to realize his son is in the league and his game go get critiqued. And if he plays bad, they're going to talk about it. And he's on the Lakers. The Lakers is a box office team. It is one of the premier teams and one of the premier markets. The media is very, very brutal in Los Angeles. Just like it's very brutal in New York. That's why folks don't do too well playing for the Lakers or playing for the Knicks or playing for Boston. You got to be a pretty good player because their media would eat you alive. LeBron knows this. Whether he wants it for his son, quite possibly not at all right now. He probably wanted to tone it down. But we also are in the social media era. And in this era, everybody's talking about sports. Hell, I'm talking about it right now. And I'm not even a sports channel. But people talk about sports. It's a hot topic. But when you start mixing in different personalities and different social media people, and everybody got a podcast show and everybody's talking about the same things, it can seem overwhelming. So I can get where he's coming from. But I think he was wrong to go at Stephen A. though. You know, but Stephen A. took it. He took it. And there's other players who thought it was weak. It was a weak move. I'm not the only one to take this position because I thought it was weak too. Like, don't run up on a man like that. I mean, he hasn't said it. He hasn't threatened you. He hasn't said nothing about your family to the point that was detrimental. He just critiqued your son's game and say he didn't think he was ready to be in the league and that you may have strong on the Lakers into taking him. Because that's essentially what happened. So hopefully those two can talk about this and reconcile this. I hate to see this. LeBron is a good ambassador for the game. I hate to see him being caught up in something this minute and petty. I would think at both of their ages, being grown men, that conversation would happen privately if he felt some type of way. Stephen A. did allude to him that, hey, he has his number, could have called him. I mean, I think that's how men should have handled it, not do it all out in public like that, making it a public display and making it a big mockery. Don't conduct business like that. You know, if you felt some type of way, you could have hit him offline and had that conversation, and then y'all really could have dove deep. Because trying to have something really quickly and a spurn, and you getting ready to go play, and just kind of shout out a few things, not a good way to not a good look, in my opinion. So, but that's my time for the night, y'all. I just wanted to come on and kind of go over those things tonight. And I'm gonna be curious to see what y'all think about it in the comments on all these topics. I will be back live Sunday night at 8 p.m. I'll give you all the lowdown on what we're gonna be discussing on that night. But I just wanted to come talk about these topics tonight because I didn't want them to linger on. So I thank everybody for tuning in. We got a nice little crowd tonight. I'm trying out these live streams, and I see them get some good results with them. So we're gonna continue to do these, and maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna have a call-in show, and let the callers, let y'all call in and voice your opinions and talk to me live on show. So I think that's gonna be coming down the pike soon. Probably looking to launch that probably around the beginning of May. And then we'll just have a call-in show on Sunday nights, and people can call in and just get it off your chest. We will let you get it off your chest on this show. But thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. I'll see you all again 8 p.m. Sunday night. Culture Nation, let's keep it culture. See you later.